Welcome everyone to Real Talk with My Homies. I'm your host, Jake Wardrop, licensed real estate agent with Homepage Realty in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, I'm joined by Melanie Leonard, licensed real estate agent with Homepage Realty as well, who has sold 32 homes for a total of $8.98 million since 2020.
Ooh, you know my stats.
Yes, I do. Thanks to MLS. This is all MLS stats. I'm sure there's some off-market properties as well, so those stats are a little subdued. When Melanie is not selling houses, she's providing first-class service to people on the ground and in the air. She works on a team with Zach Smith, who was a former guest, Susan Smith, his mom, hopefully a future guest. Susan, if you're watching this, their team can help you land your dream home like a seasoned vet of the sky. With only an average of 18 days on market, she has no time for layovers and gets you right. She has no time for layovers and gets you the right home quick. With that being said, let's hit cruising altitude and get going. Mel, how are we?
Wait, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, a great intro.
So,
doing good.
Compliments of ChatGPT and a little bit of
it.
creative ingenuity. Melanie is obviously a flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't catch all those puns. So how are we?
Good, very good.
Thanks
for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. Who is the most famous person you have seen on a plane
Oh, most famous.
that you're allowed to disclose?
Jimmy Carter.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Our
How long ago was that?
U.S. president. Probably, I'd say about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so nice. He gets on the plane,
So just
super and humble.
Just regular commercial flight?
Yeah, and he goes up and down, and he'll shake anybody's hand, take
Yeah.
pictures with anybody who wants to take pictures.
Now, did he have Secret Service with him?
I don't think so. No,
I thought they always had Secret Service. That's weird.
he's lived in Georgia his whole life, and so
Yeah.
yeah, always on our flights.
All right. Rapid fire real quick. Kind of get us going too. Do you know the airplane codes? The airport codes, I'm sorry.
Yes,
All
we
right.
had a test over those, so that was actually an initial training test.
There's some fun ones. Let's see if you know them.
Okay.
All right. Grand Rapids, Michigan.
GRR.
All right. Yuma, Arizona.
Oof, we don't fly into that one. Don't know.
It's Yum.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
Yeah. Willow, Alaska.
I don't know that one either.
That one's wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. I like it.
All right. Butler Airport, Missouri.
What airports did you pick?
I chose the good ones. Butler Airport, Missouri.
Don't know that one.
Bum. They all have funny names.
I love it.
Da Nang, Vietnam.
No idea.
That one's Dad.
I love it.
No, we didn't do any of the big ones, but just to flex your muscle. What's Boulder, Colorado?
Don't know.
Oh, what's Denver?
DEN.
Seattle,
SEA.
Tampa,
TPA.
Albany, New York.
Oof. We do fly into that one. I can't remember. So I'm pretty senior now, and I don't start to fly a lot of the domestic routes anymore.
So you go overseas.
Yes.
All right, we'll get into where you go later.
Okay.
So got to pay the bills though. Jeff, hit the new sponsor alert sound. We have a new one. All right, at Cardinal Moving, a moving company since 2014 with over 3,000 Google reviews. They specialize in making your move as smooth and stress-free as possible. Their team of clean-cut and professional movers is dedicated to handling your belongings with the utmost care and efficiency. Visit their website at cardinalmoving.com or give them a call at 502-599-2661 to get a free quote. This is not in the ad read, but when I moved back in 2020, I used them as well.
I love them as well.
I think they're fantastic. So
They've
I'm
been
very
amazing.
excited to have them as a sponsor on the podcast for at least the next 15 episodes.
Awesome. Yes,
So-
that is who I recommend most of my clients to, and that's who I used for my personal move last year as well.
Even better, Cardinal. You got 2 customers, and I don't think we're moving anytime soon. But if we moved again, you'd have another one. So, all right, real estate. You got licensed, you told me, in November 2020.
Yes.
So I got licensed actually in like August of 2020. So we've been agents around the same amount of time.
There you go.
What made you want to become a realtor?
It had always been something in the back of my mind. I've always wanted to help people find their future homes. And in March of 2020, as we know, the world closed down and grounded probably 90%, maybe 95% of our flight.
That is true, yeah.
Overnight, pretty much. And so I took a voluntary leave of absence for 1 year, effective April 1st of 2020 from flying. And dove right into real estate, dove right into my real estate program and thought, let's just learn as much as possible while I have this time.
Awesome. So you're part of a team with Susan and Zach.
Yes.
You are, I believe, outside of Zach, but Zach was really new to it when he was on. And we talk more about non-real estate stuff than real estate stuff.
Football.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah, and then he worked for me for a little while, so we reminisced and kumbaya'd over that. You're the first teammate. You're the first person of a team that we've had on. So how's that dynamic with you guys? I think it's a little different than probably like your traditional team setting, but how is your team set up?
Our team is truly just it's not your traditional real estate team, like you said. We basically help each other out with anything we need. We don't have expectations from that. I mean, if I need to go show a house for Susan, I go show a house for Susan. She's running some comps for me right now.
Yeah.
So we just truly help each other out as much as we possibly can. And it's awesome because our clients get 3 agents in one, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and the 3 agents in one might be the answer to this, but let's make it not the answer to this. What is your biggest skill as a realtor?
I think empathy. Kind of connecting with people on that level of knowing that that there's a level of customer service that I like to provide as well, and being able to empathize with certain situations.
What about lead gen? What do you do for lead gen? Anything?
All referrals.
That's awesome.
All friends and family. Yep.
I went down the road of lead gen for a little while and did the Zillow thing and paid a bunch of money and got a bunch of leads that really amounted to nothing. And I get it's a numbers game. Ryan Davis says it all the time. You kind of make your own luck to some degree in this industry, especially with open houses. But yeah, I too am referral, thankfully. I do some, I guess, unorthodox lead gen stuff, but do you do anything special, or is it all just, anything? I guess just piggyback that into the next question is, best tip for a new agent.
I think the best tip for a new agent is to find the right brokerage. And I truly lucked out in interviewing with Homepage very early on. And we have a lot of great programs for new agents. And I dove in to go into every single training I could go to. I was with Susan almost every single day. I would call her the night before and say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And she would say, yeah, I'm going to a listing appointment. And I'm like, can I just go with you just to listen, just to hear? So I think just absorbing as much knowledge as you possibly can, because real estate is very gray and every situation is very different. Every transaction is different. So
no, I think that's good. I mean, it's, we've been doing it for 4 years now. And there's still a heck of a lot to learn. When we first started, you couldn't hammer a sign in the yard without it being sold. I mean, multiple offers. So we definitely gained, a lot of action on our listings, a lot of action on the phone, email, networking, because you're talking to, I remember telling my wife hey, I got a listing going on Friday. It's, listed at 225. We're probably going to get multiple offers. I'm going to be pretty much MIA for the next 48 hours. Like, I'm going to be on my phone all day. And that's exactly the case. Thankfully, I have, she's super supportive of me and my career, and I'm sure your husband is as well.
Yep.
So with that being said, let's get into flying. All right. You're a flight attendant.
Yep.
First and foremost, what's the difference between a flight attendant and a stewardess?
I looked this up after
Okay.
we talked.
Yeah, we talked about this because I was like, honestly, I thought one of them was disrespectful.
No,
so I didn't want to do that. That's why I asked you.
No, I actually love when people call me a stewardess. It's
Okay.
back to the golden classic days. It's so classy, I feel like. But it is a gendered term, I found out. So I should have probably already known this. But a stewardess is a female flight attendant. Steward is a male.
Oh, okay.
So a stewardess just goes back to basically the days where most of the flight attendants were female. But
so all of them are flight attendants.
Yes.
And females are stewardesses, males are stewards.
Yep.
There we go. All right. I know that there's more than this, but what do you do when you're not just telling us where the exits are and giving us peanuts and pretzels, which now I only get pretzels, by the way. So that's...
You're flying the wrong airline. We had 4 snack choices.
I have pretzels if I'm lucky, and I fly very economical. So what are you doing when you're not doing that stuff? What does a typical flight look like?
There's a lot in the background. I fly mostly international, so typically we have 2 meal services, and we have, gosh, I can't even count the amount of beverage services we have. And we have a mid-snack flight service. So we have like a warm cookie that we come through with in the middle of the flight, stuff like that. So we're constantly kind of like switching out our carts and reloading ovens and cooking on the plane and trying to eat somewhere in between there, and filled people's more wine requests as they come back to the back alley and say, "Can I have more wine?"
Yeah.
Or we don't care.
I'm sure international is probably a lot better with this because of the duration, but domestically, and I say this for all of consumers, internet sucks on airplanes.
Oh, it's getting better.
I'm sure it's better on international
Yeah.
because it's more of a necessity when you're gone that long a duration of time. But like, I mean, it's just it's pretty brutal.
It's starting.
I feel like the technology's there.
We're getting a lot of the planes are just now getting retrofitted with the new Wi-Fi system.
Yeah.
So it'll get better. But yes, the smaller regional jets, it's rough. I go to New York to start work.
Okay.
So I'm normally on the regional jets going up there. And then I start work from JFK in New York.
Okay.
So
have you ever experienced turbulence that made you actually get a little nervous?
no.
No.
It makes me want to go to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'll tattle on myself. We went from, this was a couple years ago, and we're going again. Thankfully, we're going a different route, but we went to Vegas a couple years ago. Went from Chicago to Vegas, and I guess something with the jet stream and the mountains. I mean,
The mountains are brutal.
it was rough. Like I flew to Denver once, and I don't remember turbulence being that bad when I went to Denver, but we went to Vegas. There were people on the plane saying like, that's the worst I've ever had, and not even a close second. I mean, it was just constantly just going up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's a little wild over the mountains. I did have, I guess, coming in from Atlanta one night, into Louisville. I was coming home, and we hit some turbulence, and I was working the flight. I was laying over at home, and my feet did come off the ground for the first time.
Yeah.
Just know that can happen. If the seatbelt sign is on, please do wear your seatbelt. It's not us just saying that.
Yeah.
But I did almost hit the ceiling. So I came down, kind of like landed in the middle of the aisle in heels, and then went back up again. And I could literally hear passengers going like as I would go up in the air. I wasn't hurt. None of us were hurt, thank God.
Jeez.
But it was clear turbulence is what they call it. So please just always wear your seatbelt.
Oh, all right. Let's get into a little, is there a secret to getting a free upgrade?
No, not on my airline.
Not. What about in general?
I mean, really just upgrades are hard to come by now. I mean,
Yeah.
COVID revenge travel is definitely a thing. People were cooped up for 4 years and almost 4 years. And people are flying now. And the people that want to take these lifetime trips, I mean, they are redeeming their points. And it is very hard to come by a plane that is not at least 95% full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, like, speaking of the same trip from Vegas, when we flew back, and we were tired. I mean, we went to Vegas for like 4 or 5 days.
It is always exhausting.
Yeah. So we were like, what are we, how do we make this a little more enjoyable? And we actually, at the last minute, we're just sitting there looking. We got I can't remember if it was American or Delta or whatever. It's not important. But we're looking at the app for our tickets, and it's like, upgrade to first class for $79. I'm like, done.
Yes. Yes.
I am in. Upgrade to $79. I will explain this later to my wife why we spent $79, but like, it was life changing. So I upgraded it. My other buddy upgraded it, and we were waiting on the third buddy to do it. And he said, I'm not upgrading. He said, you all both just left me. I have a whole row to myself now. So I was like,
I mean, that's kind of smart, right?
yeah. So he saved, but we definitely, and honestly, I just slept the whole ride home. Like I upgraded, and it gave me enough space that I could just sleep the whole ride home, which was great.
I mean, $79, that's so worth it.
Yeah, and now again, I don't know if that's every flight, but we're going again technically to Vegas here in a few weeks. So I'm probably going to, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get it on the return though, because we're returning the day before Thanksgiving.
Oof. Thanksgiving travel week is brutal.
Any tips for me on that?
No, you've got this. It's the busiest travel week of the year, though.
I know.
It's
We got to go from,
a little wild.
I think we're going from Vegas to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte to Louisville.
You're fine, American.
I don't know are we? Okay. I don't know. Our buddy's picking it.
It's their home.
Our buddy's paying for it, then we're paying him back. But I think he's like, that's the only one that makes sense because, like, I think going to Chicago has like a 3-hour layover. I think we can go back to Dallas, but then it's like a 4-hour layover. And it's like, if we're gonna have a layover, let's at least have a small one.
Absolutely.
All right. What is your favorite airport in the world, and why?
I have this a lot. Probably Amsterdam.
Okay. Why do we like that so much?
There's a lot of shopping you can do. Is that our airport? It's
fair.
There's a lot of good food. But Amsterdam's my favorite city in general to go to.
What about domestic?
Domestically, favorite airport. Honestly, probably LaGuardia's got a facelift of an airport right now. They just renovated it, and people say they went from being La Garbage to La Gorgeous. So it is
LaGuardia had a glow up.
beautiful, yes. And they are in the middle of doing that at JFK as well. So
and that's the one you work out of, so you'll get to enjoy it.
oh, I can't wait.
What's the most common question that passengers ask?
Honestly, probably about our schedules. Our schedules are very weird. How many days a month I'm gone, where I go to, if I always fly with the same people.
All right, well, let's ask it now. Same question.
All right.
What's your schedule like? Are you with the same people?
I have 11 years of seniority now, so my schedule looks quite different than a new hire schedule would look. Everything is seniority driven in the airlines. So I used to fly 15 to 18 days a month and really didn't know what that would look like after COVID, after my year off. And I fly 3 days a month now. Real estate keeps you busy, so it's exciting. I love going to work. I love both jobs. So it gives me a great balance where I can pick up where I went to and then kind of drop off where I went to as well, because I have the international flights. So other junior flight attendants want those. So if I post them, they're gone.
Yeah. So, do you have any cool benefits or perks?
I fly for free. So
anywhere, like
so does
just
my husband.
Period.
Yeah. We pay taxes internationally on the ticket.
Yeah.
But it is space available, and it's if there's seats, which so you have to be quite flexible with your travel.
So don't try to do connecting flights. Just do.
My husband's been stuck in a lot of places. So now I've been working the flight and been like, bye.
Sorry.
Yeah. See you later.
You're an adult. You'll be okay.
He loves it. I mean, he's stuck in places like Honolulu and Rome. He's
rough. Oh, gosh. Thoughts and prayers to him.
Yeah.
What's the strangest request you've ever gotten from a passenger?
Honestly, probably just drink request. Like, I never knew, even with being from Kentucky, that putting whiskey and hot coffee was the thing.
Irish coffee.
Oh, no. It's so terrible. So probably, yeah, just some of the drink requests. And I think sometimes I'll pause and kind of be like, you want what and what?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'd say just that.
Why do people take their shoes off?
Oh, I don't know. Please don't. Please don't. And please don't put them on people's seat backs. People will do that or put them on the armrest in between the seats.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most awkward thing for me to have to go up and say, like, hey, without the person actually complaining.
Yeah.
Like, can you please put your feet?
They really want to complain, but they don't want to because you guys are stuck together for 3 hours.
Like, why would you do this to somebody? They want to smell your feet.
Oh.
It happens a lot, actually.
What's your favorite travel hack as a, I guess, customer or as an employee of an airline?
Favorite travel hack. Yes, actually, whenever you are searching for flights, put your browser in the incognito, the private mode. Mm-hmm. That way it doesn't remember how much you've searched for that flight, because the more you search for the flight, the more in demand the algorithm thinks that the flight is in.
That is a really good one.
So the higher the price keeps going as you keep searching.
Gotcha.
So just FYI.
That is a good one. You got any others that are just right there on the tip of your tongue?
They say to book your flight like 90 days out. I've heard that a lot. A lot of people want to book it like a year in advance. Mm-hmm. If you do Google Flights, you can actually, it has a flight predictor on there, and it will also email you when your flight drops. It'll say, like, your flight dropped by $100 today. Go ahead and book it because this is the lowest we think it'll be. So Google Flights.
Interesting.
It has alerts.
All right. So you travel around the world, literally. How do you handle jet lag in all these different time zones?
I don't.
You don't. That's
I look out for coffee.
how do you manage the real estate stuff? How does that coincide? Just to circle back to what we did.
Actually, yeah. I feel like I'm more available than most agents because I'm always awake. So if I get a text at 1 a.m. here or something, which is probably not good for boundaries, but it's normally, a 6-hour time change wherever I'm at. Or I'm up during the middle of the night, and if I'm on crew rest and check my phone and see like, oh, so-and-so, if I can alleviate my clients' anxieties by answering a quick question, I will 100% do that. But I feel like I'm very available all the time to my clients because of my no sleep schedule.
Last question about flying, and then we'll get into the last section before we get out of here. Do you have a cool story that you can share about flying? Something that happened on the flight, something that you were a part of, you were able to do, even if you just made a little kid's day, something.
Oh gosh, there's so many of those. I think one that will always stand out to me, and I actually used this in my interview for in-flight, but it was whenever I worked the gates in the ticket counter here in Louisville. We had a lady that showed up at the gate. It was late at night. They'll give a gate pass for typically for parents and things like that if somebody needs assistance getting down to the gate. But this lady came down and she was meeting an inbound flight. And we asked who she was meeting, and she was meeting her husband who was coming home. And he had gotten injured in the military.
Oh, God.
So we helped get him off of the plane. And he was in a wheelchair. And that was the first time she had gotten to see him in over a year. And it was just really cool to be able to help them reunite and see how excited she was to see him and how excited he was to see her, although he had been pretty badly injured.
Yeah.
So being able to reunite military families is always fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Fact or fiction? Turbulence is fine. It's like potholes of the sky.
Fact.
It's
fine. It's going to happen. It's kind of like boating. You hit a wake, right? Yeah. If you're behind another boat. Same thing. It's just a jet stream. It's fine. It's just there.
Knock on wood, turbulence is not taking a plane down.
No.
All right. Cell phones can mess with the plane's navigation system.
I can't say this is fact or fiction because I really don't know, because the pilots have that pilot brain. I can't know that. I'm definitely your Cokes and Peanuts person, not the buttons person up front. But from what I do know, on the older style planes, it really could interfere with their systems.
Yeah.
I don't think on the new Airbuses and new Boeing planes that it would, but it's more of a security factor now of of cutting communication off between people.
You know, none of us put our phone in airplane mode, right?
Yeah. Do you know? Well, I won't say that.
Okay. None of us actually put our phone in an airplane.
Don't be blatantly on it with it up to your ear or your AirPods in and like talking super loud.
Yeah.
Just don't let us see it.
All right. Flying through storms is dangerous.
It's actually really cool if you go up to the it is. I've been on a plane that
it's not, but
I've been
go
on
on.
a plane that got hit by lightning before and landed into Memphis. We did emergency landing in Memphis.
Everything turned off, all the electricity.
We just saw it bolt through the window.
I don't know why you're laughing at this.
It was fine.
Thank God no one was going to the bathroom, walking down the aisle.
It was fine. It's fine. Airplanes are like cars. They just need maintenance. And I know that the company I work for does a lot of routine maintenance, and we're good.
And I know it is the safest way to travel. You're more likely.
Do your part. You don't want to be with me in the car on the way to the airport. That's scary.
Yeah, no, I've seen Louisville drivers. I'm good.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I trust the pilots way more than Louisville drivers.
Speaking of Louisville, because you asked me airplane code.
Yes.
Do you want to know, our airport code?
Did we change it?
No, we didn't. We changed the name of the airport.
I know we changed the name.
Code.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
SDF.
Okay. Do you know how my classmates remember that in training?
I'm going to say you used it as a whatever.
They remembered it because we're a small town as some dumb filled. Isn't that sad?
It's not very nice.
I know. That's sad.
It's not very nice.
Yes. Creative ways to remember things.
You got to do what you got to do, I guess, right?
Yeah. I was like, man, you all, that's where I'm from. Stop.
Yeah. All right.
But we are like a trending city. It was hard for me to get long layovers in Louisville, George, the end of me doing my domestic routes because everybody loves Nulu. We're downtown.
Yep.
They love the shops and the restaurants, and we're such a foodie town. So
Yeah.
our name started getting out there.
Are they ever going to change it to ALI?
I don't know. That would be so cool.
I mean, it's right there.
Oh, Louisville Airport.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's already like brought it up in a board meeting, but
That would be awesome. Yeah.
all right. Any advice for travelers through the holidays or just in general about how to travel better, more efficiently?
I would say download the airline that you're flying on, their app.
Yep.
It keeps you most up to date on where your latest gate is, what time you're going to board, all of that, because a lot of people think that they just need to be at the gate at departure time and your plane's going to be gone. Make sure you just stop and breathe. People get so wound up in the airport. It's so sad, especially if you're only traveling like once a year.
Yeah.
Business travelers, we could tell them all day, hey, we're delayed 30 minutes. And they're like, it's okay. Like, let me just put myself on the next one or whatever they do on their app, you know. With vacation travelers or holiday travelers, it's so sad when we get delays and everybody's in a frenzy. So just stop, take deep breaths, watch the airport signs, watch the boards, download the apps.
Last thing, and I'm saying this specifically to one person. Will you tell my mom that she doesn't have to get to the airport 3 hours early?
No, she does.
No, she doesn't.
I highly advise
You
that.
don't know. Stop.
I'm not taking
She doesn't need to be there 3 hours early.
Is she checking a bag? That's the biggest question.
That's her. She's bringing it on the plane.
Okay,
They go
you're okay.
to Orlando for like 4 days. They bring a small carry-on. That's it.
Then she's okay to get there a little bit
She
later.
don't need to get there 3 hours early.
Also,
It's September. No one's at the airport. It's the summer.
flights are still full. It's fall break.
Yeah, but she has a reserved seat. It's not like a buffet where first come, first serve, and then if you don't get a seat, you're out. Like, she has a reserved seat.
Yeah.
Now, I think they do the cattle call at Southwest. So, like, but I mean, they still
They're
aren't.
changing that.
Are they?
Yeah, they're changing their whole business.
Breaking news.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Any other breaking news you want to drop?
No, I don't think so. Hey, my airline is getting all new cabin interiors. It's very pretty, very branded.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all fun. Airlines are doing very well, thank God. I mean, we just did not know how things were going to bounce back a couple years ago, so I'm super grateful.
Did you see I'm sure it had to have been a parody. There's no way somebody actually really thought this was a good idea. Where like it was like the tiered seating, or
Oh, I did see that. It almost looked like buses.
well,
Like some of the buses have that, and
yeah, where it's like one guy's sitting up here, and if you're listening to this is really going to be hard. If you're watching it, it makes sense. But one guy's sitting up here, one person's sitting down here, so like you're synced up to
yeah.
you know, to be politically correct, like flatulence is right there if you're sitting on it. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll end with that. If somebody wants to get in contact with you to buy a house, how can they?
You can call me. My number is 502-504-7340 or Facebook, Melanie Leonard. Yeah.
Any other socials you want to plug?
Instagram, I think, is Mel Leo. I don't know what it is. Sorry. But
That's all right. No big deal.
I am not the biggest social media person. I do it for marketing purposes. And yeah. And
Big aspect of our job.
And family. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Mel, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Brad.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Let's keep selling Bullitt County. You're a big Bullitt County person?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All about Bullitt County. So, all right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.